Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Marketo user group, meeting, and lovely to see you here. Today, the topic is really great, and I think there will be lots of learning. And we'll encourage everyone to, if you want to come on camera and speak, please feel free to do that because Adobe Marketo Engage group user groups are meant to be interactive. So please feel free to chime in, and if you want to introduce yourself, please raise your hand and come on camera and just talk about yourself, what you are doing, and what you are planning in 2025. Because I believe everyone is planning something new for the new year, right? So we'd love to hear what exciting you guys are doing.
Hi everyone.
Anyone? Okay, anytime,
Yeah.
whenever you feel, please feel free to chime in and ask any questions, or if you want to talk about anything, just let us know. Okay, so let's start with today's topic. So before that, there are some housekeeping slides and some rules that we should go through. So to ensure our mug stays user focused and a safe place for everyone to to learn, to grow, and to talk freely, we do not promote, we do not encourage anyone to do self promotion or pitching any kind of sales kind stuff is not permitted. Do not contact people outside of the user group without their consent. And if mug members share their use cases here, please don't share those outside without their prior consent. Just for everyone, this meeting is getting recorded. So if you feel you should not be part of a live recording due to any reason, you can wish to check the recording once it is available on our YouTube channel. Yeah, and if you really like our content, and if you really want to stay connected with us, please feel free to join our mug at mugs.marketer.com. You can subscribe there, and whenever there is a new event, you will be notified automatically, so you don't really have to wait for us to be there. So yeah. Yeah, and then there are some good upcoming opportunities as well. If you want to, join those user group meetings, please feel free. So there are, quite a few mug meetings happening within December, and then there is one that is happening in January with Delhi Mug. So I will be speaking on that, and we are going to, really look at like how you should start the year right. What are the things that you should focus on Marketo, how to audit and clean up, not just from database perspective, but instance perspective as well. How you can well organize and tidy your instance for effective growth and all that kind of stuff. So we can. If you really want to join that, please feel free to sign up for that one as well. Great. And today we have our two lovely and really talented speakers, Ruchi and Vulkar, and they are going to talk about, personalization, how you can set up, personalization in market to get really high impact, and then how you can actually measure that and look at those analytics. So, Ruchi and Vulkar, over to you.
Thanks. Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Ruchi. And thanks, everyone, to join. Um, so glad that we are able to pull this off in the uh, kind of like end of year. Um, Pretty cozy area these days. So while we transcend into 2025, we chose this topic of, it's like semi strategy, semi technical, and couple of items in here we think are pretty high impactful. And before we delve into it, I want to talk with some basics, like starting with some basics, that there is some concept in marketing which doesn't exist in vacuum. Like there are three concepts which don't exist in vacuum. These are personalization and segmentation. We are going to talk about the third one in a bit. uh, and it may be a good uh, segue to start personalization discussion, and then think of like how to implement these, because I think this is one of the areas in Marketo which is very scalable. Like we have already done global marketing user group earlier on, and we want to refine like some personalization basics. Instead of like, we're not talking about first name, like we are beyond that. No, we don't even say that um, having a first name token is personalization. It's kind of given now, but we are taking a step ahead now, and talking about personalization from a strategic viewpoint, that we are talking about delivering the relevant content. And by relevant we mean which is aligned with the individual interests and behaviors. Now obviously it's a big statement to make. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes to make it work. And but we are kind of trying to look at an overview picture. If you look at the shapes on the right, there could be, think of these as different segments which can, overlap in some areas. And there can be many ways to a segments and audience. It's like a cluster of or group of people. um, you would know that some of the segmentations you already use are based on demographics, maybe the product types, maybe the market types. Like these are the ones which you would typically see in instances. But we want to have, one step back to and look at segmentation as a whole, as a marketing concept. So there can be many ways to segment an audience, and that is the first step to um, really establish a marketing strategy in one way. Because once you have an audience, once you have an ICP, then it's about like, okay, what are different groups of people who have common interests, and then you kind of align all your messaging towards that. So that's there. If we can get to the next slide, Ruchi. um, and as I talked, they are illustrating a way to segment. And the idea behind the shape is that they could take any shape, right? Um, you have a set of audience, and you could group it into any category. It's virtually infinite categories. Uh, let's talk about some examples on what basis we can segment, or what content categories we have. If we are not talking about the direct email marketing or marketing ecosystem, we can see this already in the product recommendation sections on Amazon and products like that. We can see that there are discount or amended cart uh, reminders for improved rate and conversions. Like those are things you will you are already noticing in your day-to-day digital life. And of course there are dynamic websites, and if we stretch it a bit, even dynamic pricing in some cases, right? Or talk about ad campaigns. You can tailor different ads and segment audience based on intent data. You will sometimes also notice it, right? If you see an ad on one device, might be different from the ad you see on the another device, which could sometimes be an A/B testing. But the thing is that what it is ultimately is that it's a variation of the same message, which is designed to appeal to you because you belong to a very specific segment. Like you are in one of those shapes. So that are some practical examples. And if we get to the next slide, um, once you have it, that message has to be for yourself. So uh, the message still remains the same, right? If you want to tell that um, this is something I have to offer for this particular pain point you have, uh, this is like how I am communicating to you. But you would communicate the same thing to a senior leader in a very different way than you would communicate the same problem to an engineer, because both of them are different segments. That's a very basic example. So when we talk about message B, message E, and message C, we're not talking about different messages, we are talking about different variations of messages. And we have seen that in the case of global marketing, this variation is defined by the language. When we are doing the multilingual campaigns, then we are essentially giving the same message, but we're using a different language for one part of world versus the another. And your message for all those segments is by definition very different, because it needs to appeal to those segments in a relevant manner. And this is also where the point of ICP comes in point of view, because you need to solve a problem, and you need to know what problems those segments have. Like, the problems your offers solve might be different for an engineer versus for a senior leader. For example, if it's a data problem, it's more about the increase in cost for a senior leader, and it might be more of an operational issue for an engineer. So you need to attack that problem in a very relevant way for a very relevant segment. And I want to talk about STP. STP is a classic framework of marketing. It's called segmentation, targeting, and positioning. And I would also want to talk about resonance. That for now, I just want to mention that STP is what ultimately builds resonance. Um, till this point, we talked about like what is segmentation and how the variations of messages personalize those messages to specific segments. And both of those aspects relate to segmentation and targeting. But how you write that message, what's the tone of that message, what's the brand of that message is positioning, right? That is what usually the content planners and the strategy teams would do. That you are trying to control the emotion and the response of audience. What do you write to make a specific set of perception, which brings me to next point about positioning. Ruchi, if you could get to the next slide. I think positioning is more important than you think it is. Like, there's a very classic example which one of my teachers gave me in my school. Maybe it was in graduation or post grad. Would you like to have Ditto biscuits? No, because it's not positioned like that. It's not having that perception. So it's an extreme example. um, the generic example would be like, if you are selling a data product to an engineer, you might not want to talk about cost. You might want to talk about how it will operationalize, like how it will seamlessly systemize operations. Versus if you're talking to a leader, it might be more of a cost benefit discussion. And that is the third aspect which I was talking about, like its positioning, which is the third. So I think that the segmentation, targeting, and positioning are like, three concepts which don't exist in a vacuum. They are interrelated, while positioning directly relates to brand. And that's why, it's important to think about how this whole ecosystem of positioning, segmentation, and targeting works, because this is required. Like, once you get this, you will be able to do a lot with Marketo's features of segmentations and targeting, because like you can actually segment by any category. Then you also know that, okay, when you are creating the messaging, you are creating based on some different category, and it has to embody some positioning, it has to embody some brand voice, it has to do something to audience which is relevant for that audience. The response needs to be somewhat controlled. Of course, we cannot control perception, but positioning is something we do. Like, it is something we aim for, as in perception for a brand. So and we will not cover the detail. I think this is basics. But the thing is that you can create different segmentations in Marketo, and there can be different segments within a segmentation. For example, uh, in this snapshot, there's a highlighted segment called named accounts. and you can make your blocks dynamic in the email and change it according to the segment. So if you want to send a message to marketable members, you can create different message variation, and if it's based on region, maybe that variation is based on language. If that's based on job level, maybe that's based on what benefit are you talking about, what layer of benefit are you talking about. So that's like how you can implement. It's pretty straightforward. The beauty of Marketo is that you can actually do it on scale, and that's why I am a believer that this segmentation and personalization using dynamic content in Marketo is arguably the most high impact feature in Marketo. But I wanted to come to this point from a strategic perspective, so I hope that made sense. um, but I'll take a pause here, Ruchi. Anything you want to say, or anything in the audience?
Well, it's very well said that you can do stuff inside Marketo to scale basically, and like advanced personalization is actually a transformative approach in the modern marketing ecosystem, and it enables various people and brands to connect with the audiences as well on a deeper level. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight one more point here. Definitely, Marketo is really powerful, right? You have so many features, but I have seen people complaining, "Hey, we are not able to use Marketo, and Marketo is not delivering us what we need." Uh, the thing is, until unless you know like how to use it appropriately and using and do that all that stuff, you will not be able to get the most out of it, right? And one of the major thing is data, right? Everything depends on data, how well you are able to store the data in market, or which format you are storing. Are you getting that data in just just standard fields or custom fields, or are you also able to utilize custom objects, for example? Are you able to utilize custom activities, for example? So how well you are organizing your data, how accurate and how frequently you clean that data, uh, it also matters, right? How enriched your data is, what percentage of your record is missing. Uh, for example, if you are targeting based on job level, right? You want to target C level, but you don't have C level people, or maybe that data is missing on most of the record, right? So it totally then go back to the data as well, like what your data looks like, what is the quality of your data.
Yes, exactly. And from this section onwards, we are going to be more involved into the technicalities of, how to segment your data well and how the quality data brings you the high impact results. Moving on to next section. Uh, so here's how to segment, So first things first, define clear objectives. Okay, so understand the why and what means why the segmentation is required and what are the goals behind that segmentation, such as increasing engagement, boosting conversions, or improving customer retention, maybe. And tailoring segmentation strategies, it should be aligned with your KPIs overall, either your team's KPIs or your organizations. Then you can segment the data by many categories. Balkar showed us some examples. So you can identify personas by leveraging vast level of data sets and also using sophisticated modeling techniques here. And marketers can go beyond the traditional segmentation and touch the depth of insights, reaching the efficiency and precision to craft highly nuanced personas for deeper personalization. You can also use machine learnings to predict future customer behavior, such as likelihood to churn or purchase, or target at risk customers with retention campaigns. Then is applying judgment to what you find is more relevant. Okay, so determine the most relevant aspects when you're segmenting the data. You should be evaluating whether it aligns directly with the campaign objectives or not. What is the actionability of the data? What value it brings to the audience, and what is the level of scalability and ease of measurement, basically. Then understanding your data. Okay, so you can create more granular segments, by combining various data points. For example, uh, you're targeting a young professional, which is a demographic side of it, who browse premium products, which is the behavioral side of information. So you can kind of integrate all these intent signals like search queries or downloads to refine the targeting. And for example, segmenting leads showing high purchase intent for the follow. So these are common examples. And as we mentioned, you can segment data in like infinite ways, but obviously we don't want to do that. Moving on to some additional ideas, you can segment on the base of these categories, or these areas, depending on your requirements. For example, if you want to check the quality data, you can definitely do it on the basis of their mailability, or the valid data is available or not. Have your marketing suspended your data due to some reason? The email address, which is a primary field to contact or do the outreach, it should not be empty. And you can also consider other demographic areas like country or industry or phone number. They are available and in a good condition, so they are usable for us. Another idea is to build it on the basis of activity or inactivity done by leads. uh, the type of content that you're sending out to them, are they responding to that or not? Are they doing any activity on those emails or other content? Are they visiting any page, or are they downloading any other piece of content or not? Then can be on the basis of marketability of the data. You can also target on the basis of person source, which is one of the target criteria for building or segmenting your target audience. Understanding which person source are they coming from, are they MQL already, are they ready for entering into the sales cycle, and which level of revenue stage they are sitting at, and what is their registration source type, for example. Another quick example is on the basis of high level personas. So you can define on the basis of demographics. If you're targeting, millennials with a campaign for a travel gear, and on the basis of behavioral persona, like you're sending cart abandonment emails to the shoppers, and also on the basis of predictive audience, that you're targeting customers that are more likely to convert with special offers. So these are some of the ideas, high level. In this segment, we are going to talk about various characteristics of good data. So good data is the backbone of successful marketing. So without having clean or reliable data, even the most advanced personalization strategies, they fall short. So high quality enhances targeting, it reduces bounce rates, and it improves overall campaign performance. Starting with accurate targeting. So accurate data, it also ensures that campaigns are built on reliable insights, while relevance avoids distractions from extraneous information. Effective personalization using dynamic campaign optimization, it enables campaigns to be adjusted in the real time, increasing responsiveness to the market changes. And quality data, it allows precise segmentation that empowers targeted marketing. Timeliness is another characteristic. So real-time data usage, it enhances the ability to pivot campaigns dynamically for better results. Forecasting and budgeting. So good data supports better predictions for future campaigns, and optimizing resource allocation as well. Meaningful attribution. So centralizing data from multiple sources, it ensures consistency and better insights. Compliance and security. With growing data privacy laws, for example, GDPR or CCPA, so maintaining legally compliant and secure data is critical. Then is enhanced ROI. Accurate data, it helps identify the most effective channels and strategies, ensuring the optimal budget with resource utilization. Okay, let's talk more about some key practices for maintaining the data quality, like regular data cleansing or investing in data enrichment, ensuring data validation, leveraging technology. So, augment records with relevant details, first of all. So, regularly validate and enhance data sets for accuracy and depth. Foster cross departmental communication in order to maintain the consistency. You should be leveraging in tools and governance. So leveraging, let's say, analytics platform or robust data governance frameworks, it improves quality when ensuring the compliance. And by leveraging technology, marketers can actually create campaigns that feel individually crafted or tailored to the business needs, enhancing customer engagement and driving measurable results. So, just to summarize, I mean, quality data is not a luxury, but it's a necessity for running successful campaigns. Talking about the most important aspects for maintaining data integrity, doing regular audits. You should be performing routine audits to ensure that data sync complies with the latest standards and platform updates if there are any. Error logging, keeping detailed records of sync error that are happening between Marketo or other data management tools or your CRM to proactively identifying the patterns and addressing recurring issues. So Marketo does provides the notifications or whenever there are any break which is happening during the sync or some error which is causing the sync failure. So it gives you a very detailed record where you can actually track what is the nature of the error, when was the record generated, and how to deal with that, basically. Automated sync checks, implementing automated systems to ensure data consistency across the platforms. It will reduce the reliance on manual processes and minimize the errors. Then is your bot detection and filtering. You can actually very easily implement listening systems inside Marketo to identify anomalies. You can build systems or campaigns to detect bot activity, and you can easily filter out the unreliable or useless data. So, in a nutshell, with data integrity, uh, or without data integrity. So there are different parameters that we should be considering. So maintaining the data integrity, you can have accurate audience segmentation and targeting. You can have reliable personalization that builds trust and engagement, better decision making, and higher ROI through optimized campaigns. And without data integrity, there will be incorrect targeting leading to wasted resources or errors in personalization that can damage the credibility, and misguided strategy, misguided reporting on the basis of accurate data, and impact on ROI due to the inefficiencies and irrelevant messaging. So poor quality data, it can lead to misinformed decisions, wasted resources. So from here, I'll hand over to Balkar again to talk about lead qualification parameters. So Balkar, over to you.
Thanks, Ruchi. I mean, I am in a bit of disagreement with you. I don't think
Mhm.
data integrity is not luxury. To me, it feels like luxury. So, thanks for covering that. Uh, but
You're in agreement or disagreement on that one?
yeah, it's agreement in disguise. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um, okay, no, thanks for that nice summary of the data. I think, as cliche it seems, data is forever important, and like we can obviously address some things with LLMs, but then you need very some high level skills and if we want to be elegant, like for example, Samuel has been in chat discussing a very interesting use case that um, how to map job titles and identify a relevant level, like if C level we want to do that. And it's pretty classic, and obviously if we don't have that, we don't segment that and we miss on that. So yes, segmentation is based, like everything is based on data, we know that. And then
Mhm.
we want to segue our way into lead qualification. Might not seem related, but it is that you also want to segment based on behavior and their position in the funnel. uh, so scoring has been a really interesting use case for a lot of time. But there is something which comes into discussions many times, that scoring is not very relevant. Scoring is XYZ. I see scoring as an indication of how relevant a person is, an individual is in our system, and regardless of whether I see it or whether someone in sales ops see it. Like now, we are kind of working together since 1 or 2 years. Like we know that we are now treating ourselves as a community of RevOps instead of marketing ops. So I think it's fine to discuss from the sales relevance as well, that when we talk about scoring, we are talking about the interest and relevance level. And one good way to aggregate the score further is grading. And that grading essentially assesses whether your leads fits a customer profile or not, because you can include the ICP parameters into that via the smart list and all that filters in Marketo, and you can get super laser focused there. So you have like, okay, these are the four levels. Uh, it's a scale, right? Where something some segments are very good and some segments are not very good, and then you can combine these both, and this will give a very good way to segment people, which might not be in place already. But the thing is that it's built on your own intelligence. It's your wisdom to how to define it. But the thing is that this is a way to define those grades. And yeah, that's for the lead qualification section. You can use this for lead qualification, you may not use for this lead qualification, like that's up to us. But the thing is, you can definitely use this for segment qualifications. Then if we can go to the next slide, just a very different set of, like, if like we already have questions, but any more questions we have, anything anyone wants to bring it up.
Hey guys, any questions from anyone, or as we were talking, if you want to share any use cases around personalization or something different that you might have done?
If anyone you wants to share what type of segmentation they are using for maintaining the data hygiene or data integrity, please feel free.
Okay, cool. But thank you so much everyone to join. We hope we were able to do justice to the time user for us. Hoping to do more topics later on. Do let us know any topics you want us to cover. We are totally open to research and to a user group of that. But that, like, let's I think this would be the last user group for our chapter this year. But you can obviously have like a lot more that are coming up, as we said. So thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks, everyone,
No
and
problem.
happy holidays.
Happy
Yeah,
holidays.
happy holidays, everyone, and wish you a very happy New Year in advance.
Yep.
Okay,
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank
See you
you.
all on in next year. Thanks. Bye bye.